So we told you, we'll bring you a lot more sight and sounds of that very last rally of the New Patriotic Party. It took place on the frontages or the forecourt of the Trade First site here in Accra. It was a sight to behold, according to the estimates of those who support the party on social media and the other commentary sites we have around. And we also gave you complete, comprehensive live coverage on this very channel, and I'm sure that you're very much appreciative. You would want to give us a lot more of your comments as well.
Yep.
And but now we have to look at what the stories are front back pages of the various newspapers, and we'll start with the Ghanaian Times.
The Ghanaian Times newspaper front page: NPP holds final rally. We know the NDC would hold one today. We'll tell you more details about that. Today is actually the official last day where you can show off and do all the keche and things like that. Restart International predicts win for Mahama. Zoomlion lauded for supporting national, is it National Day or National Development? That story on page 18. Back page: Queens settle for bronze as Nigeria wins 8th African women's title. Adriana lifts Galka G6 trophy. That's another headline on the back page of the paper. Let's talk about predictions. I mean, we're very close to the elections now. Election day is just, we're like barely 2 days away to that. So predictions around this time, crucial, I guess. Page 7 in the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and it says that as the country holds its general elections this Wednesday, December 7, quite a number of organizations and institutions have organized opinion polls with varying results, while the Bureau of National Investigations journalists pollster Benefsin, as well as the London-based Economic Intelligence Unit in its latest poll have all predicted resounding victory for the incumbent President John Dramani Mahama. A group of lecturers at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana have said it is likely Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the leader of the main opposition party, the New Patriotic Party, will win. The latest institution to come out with its poll is the Restart International, which has also predicted a one-touch victory for President Mahama. The poll conducted by Restart International and released over the weekend predicted a one-touch win for President Mahama and by 54.7% and 43.7% for the NPP presidential candidate. It was conducted in all 275 constituencies with a sampling size of 2,000 respondents with methodologies such as full multi-stage sampling and opinion poll, and it gives more details. So if you're interested in finding out how they arrived at this conclusion that it will be a one-touch victory for President Mahama with over 50% of the vote, you can grab the Ghanaian Times and read all the details. Roland?
We have on the front page of the Daily Guide, vote for change, NPP tells Ghanaians. We also have more names missing on EC voters register. We need not to tell you a lot more about that because already it's been ongoing about the outcome of the second day of the special voting exercise. And we know that we give you complete coverage right here on this very channel, started by yours truly, and then continued widely. We went to various polling stations across the capital as well as elsewhere in the country where we had a lot more comments as well as observations from our correspondents we had deployed.
You went to cantonments?
Yes, I went there.
Yeah. How was the experience? The two polling stations almost at the same place, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, there are two polling stations. You know, the first day I was at Nima, the Nima police station, and then this time I went to the cantonment police station. The observation, and I should say, was that it looked as if that the registers that were used were the same. So those who vote, and I took my time to be asking those who cast their ballots, whether they came to vote the first time or join the queue, etc. And they said, some said they came and the queue was long, so they did not.
Oh.
And then some said they didn't even come at all.
Okay.
So I rarely got people who had their names added, etc.
Okay.
The other thing was that you got to find out people were part of a list, the special voters list, but did not do a transfer of their votes. And so they had to go back and vote in their various constituencies.
Yeah.
You see.
But that will also be a problem, because if you couldn't do that but your name was included in the special voters list, it means that you cannot vote
on,
on December 7.
Yeah, so the conclusion that some of us drew was that perhaps the communication was not right. I don't know whether who the communication should have come from, whether it was the NCC, the Electoral Commission, or the various parastatals or the security agencies concerned. And I don't also know whether there was a great service done by the heads of those units for the various security services, because I think they should have also better communicated to their people. Either they were also not well versed in the law, because the CR 94 really stated how you needed to vote as a special voter, etc. Mind you, we've come to this very point because there's been a lot of mistrust among all the various stakeholders. At the time when we had the 2013 election petition during the cross-examinations, and the conclusion was that the numbers at the end of the special voting exercise, the political parties were not very much trustful or trusting those numbers, because they thought a certain number voted, but the declaration was a lot more at the end of the day and that kind of thing. So now we have put everything in law, and once we're working with the law, it becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
But we don't have to perhaps not acknowledge the satisfaction among the various members of the security agency. That's a great thing we have to be mindful of. If they are angry, then it means that it doesn't bode well for security. But they've also chosen a certain profession, and they have to know that certain standards are expected of them. So I've noticed that we're told that some of the security personnel were angry and they had vandalized. I think that should not happen. No matter what happens, you have a certain pedigree and professionalism. Once you join a certain profession, for us, we support various political parties, but we can't come on air and be saying we support, because that's the ethic of the profession. So
yeah, I agree with you. And yesterday when we started our coverage here on Joy News, the Deputy Communications Director of the Electoral Commission was fortunately with me here in the studio. And so, Yusuf Ayuba, yes. So when the report started coming in, I think it was Martina Bugri from Tamale Central who gave us the first hints. There was a police officer who got really angry. He started throwing chairs about at the polling center. And Yusuf was trying to explain some of the details in terms of how their names even got onto the lists. And one thing stood out, the fact that the names presented largely by the security services had some mistakes on them, because you needed to present the name, the voter's ID number, and some other details that they required. And so the question I asked was, did you let them know that the list they brought had some mistakes and they needed to go and correct? And then he said, yes, we communicated back to them. But in the end, the list they had still had a lot of mistakes. And so they had to naturally just reject those names.
Yeah.
But the other question was, did they have enough time for that process? And then he referred me back to the law, just like you said. He said the law requires that you do it within a certain time. And to the best of our knowledge, we did it according to what the law said.
Yeah, so because if you don't do it according to a certain time, then the register is closed.
Yeah.
So you can't put anybody there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing also I noticed was that some of the personnel of the security agencies, and even I think that even transcended to the heads who collected those names, thought that if you compile that list, it means that the person...
You've transferred them automatically. Yes.
And that was a mistake.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that because that was an oversight, that very reference also was not communicated to the Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
Because if that was communicated to the Electoral Commission, would tell you, no, please, whoever you've collected as a name from WA cannot vote in a constituency in a crown. Once that person has not voted.
I agree with you.
And then there was a period for the transfer.
Yeah.
You couldn't have been transferring at the latter end of this
And the transfer is a personal exercise.
Yes.
Nobody can collect your name in a group or whatever it is and transfer on your behalf.
Agencies and their personnel are ignorant of that. They thought that, well, your bosses are your opinion, and
because that's what they kept saying. They said, oh, they asked us to bring our names and we sent our names.
But that also shows how ignorant we are about the law.
It's true.
Where media people, where security
Which is surprising. Very, 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 very surprising.
Yeah, surprising. Many of us are very much ignorant about the law. You want to do the daily graphic?
Yeah, let me do the daily graphic newspaper. And it speaks volumes, really, when you look at the picture. It tells you how it went down at the trade fair yesterday. You know, the MPP's big rally ahead of the polls. We're ready to save Ghana. Akufo-Addo declares at NPP's final rally. Second day of special voting also faces challenges. Back page, Adriana lift G6 cap, beat Hearts 4-3 on penalties. Kotoko win third place. So this story about Doma-based Adriana Stars yesterday secured a double over Accra Hearts-Vogue in this year's Galka G6 tournament when they handed the Phobians a 4-3 defeat on penalties in their crunch final at the Babayara Stadium in Kumasi. I thought Hearts, we're kind of like back or something. Really?
Yeah, the way I think that there was some laxity on the part of the playing body, and I think you had come into the game and then went.
If we had lifted this cup, it would have just boosted, you know. Yeah, Hearts. That's it for the graphic. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right, so we have on the front page, and I believe this will be the last paper we'll be doing. The Daily Dispatch newspaper has the stories, 17 new polls from Greater Accra Central and Upper East. Who wins Ningo Pram, Tema East, Cape Coast North, and Ekumfi? And I don't know, kind of do some observations myself, so just kind of.
So you can tell?
No, some of them just don't tally with some of the things I have in mind. So not that I will say my mind, but it says the three from Greater Accra region and one from Upper East make up 4 that are too close to call. That is, it was difficult for our team to pick up a likely winner for Bolter South in the Upper East region, which will see a battle between 2 university lecturers from 2 political parties, the NDC and the PNC, and they are Clement Park as well as Azong Al Hassan. And we know Azong, I think, is the incumbent. And we have the NDC St. George 31, and an agricultural and agric engineer, and the New Patriotic Party's candidate Sylvester Tete, who is 39. They're battling it out in Ningo Pram. 2 pharmacists are also having a tight race, and I also West Welcome. That's the incumbent Emmanuel Chamantinge Jakun and Delali Brempong. So we also have the MPP MP for Temais titles Glover facing the NDC candidates. He beat only by 3 votes in 2012. Kempes of Osuwari, who was a former Metropolitan Chief Executive as well. We have the NDC seems to be on the way to winning majority of parliamentary seats in the Upper East region. In Avogo Central, 70-year-old Mark Wayongo, the incumbent NDC MP, will beat the MPP's Kofi Ada, 60. In Bolton North, James Agalga, 37, will win for the NDC, and Bongo will see Edward Bawa, 43, being sworn in, and 42-year-old lawyer Mahama Yarega will win for Boku Central. Majority of the parliamentary seats in the central region are likely to be won, as in 2012, by the ruling NDC. Of the 9 constituencies being assessed today, the NDC are likely to win 7 and the MPP 2. In Cape Coast North, which is very interesting because we have the topmost candidates of both the MPP and NDC. Kobi Champon is for the NDC, and according to a poll by Benefse in the Dispatch, he will beat the MPP's Barbara Isi, a 40-year-old teacher, but we also know that she's very strong on the ground.
She's the one we hosted, yeah?
Yeah, no, we didn't host her.
We didn't. Oh,
no,
okay.
we hosted her on phone, but not in the studio. But we've also had interactions with her
because we hosted
documentary.
There's another. You go ahead. I'm sure the name will come out.
That's KEA. Yeah,
okay,
that's,
sure.
For
And
then we also have for the Ejumako Enyan Isiam constituency, we're going to have also the NDC also winning for Agona is Pokua Soya, and the MPP is going to have a field day in 2 Dentra seats. Samuel Onsoa Jan will also be winning in Upper Dentra, beating Ambrose Amwa, and for Upper Dentra East, Nana Mwakon of the MPP will also be winning. Abeku Krenzel will win the Ekumfi seat for the NDC, beating the MPP's Atokujo. Very interesting. 2 businessmen will be battling for the Trifo Ati Mokwa seat. The NDC's Atuama will have the edge over Abraham Duman Udum. Gomwa East, also in the central region, will see Desmond Peitu, 47 of the NDC, having the edge over Kweju Asemi, who is a 37-year-old. And the NDC's James Esson is heading to Parliament at the expense of Col Hayford in the Abra Asebu Kwamankese constituency.
So these are the predictions the dispatch is making. Given it to the NDC.
Yeah, sometimes you know those communities as well. Sometimes you go through them and you tend to have a lot more lively activity between the MPP and NDC when you're in those constituencies. So we'll see how that goes as far as that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there's this story in the graphic. I'm just going back to the graphic, page 17. And it says PNC NDC disown campaign posters at Nadoli Kallio. And this particular seat is being occupied by the majority leader in parliament. And the PNC's Bernard Mona is battling him out. And we hear that it's actually, hard on the ground. I don't know, December 7th is just a day away. And political observers have been struck by a strange or perhaps smart campaign strategy that has left many in wonderland over the parliamentary choice for Nadoli Kallio constituency in the Upper West region for Wednesday's general elections. Campaign paraphernalia advertising the faces of President John Mahama of the NDC and the PNC's Bernard Mona have been disowned by both parties. So this is it. This is what I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
So you find that Bernard Mona's picture is on this same flyer where the president is. So it's as if, okay, the president.
Skirt and blouse.
Yeah, kind of.
But I think Bernard Mona will be an interesting addition to Parliament.
But they say the both parties of this own. I don't know who is behind this, really.
Yeah. Charlie, these things can come up overnight. They just paste them or stick them at 12 a.m.
And they say flyers and stickers that marry the pictures of President Mahama and Mr. Mona are accompanied by other materials that bear only the picture of Mr. Mona. Okay, Mr. Bagmin won't be happy about this, but I think fortunately Bernard Mona is disowning and the NDC is also disowning as well. It will be interesting. Charlie.
All right,
are you also one of those who say let the elections come quickly? Like, I'm tired of everything that's happening already.
No, I'm not tired.
Okay.
I think because I've seen many elections within the period, so it's a time that is expected to come and pass, and either way there are going to be shocks because we've seen too many polls predicting for either side. So, and it's a make or break for either, and it's going to be eventful either as well. So, I mean, we're talking about the topmost parties. It's the MPP and NDC, really. This is their game.
All right, let's...
either Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wins or John Mahama wins. So it's one of them.
Okay. Let's read some messages that you sent to our WhatsApp page, 0560-800,000. Here's one from Mr. Telabi says, good morning, Roland, Mama V. The missing names may be affected as a result of NHIS deletion by the Supreme Court order.
Who Telabi? Is it the MP?
I don't know, but I doubt. This one says, I entreat all the youth to vote massively for Nana Addo because he represents the youth. From Abdullahi Abdurazak in Tamale. Here's another one that says, I'm very lucky to be part of the Fombese Islamic Youth Dawah Association. We're organizing a peaceful campaign programs for Muslims through preaching towards a peaceful polls come 7th December. You give a lot more details, Bambakia Samed Fombese, but that's where I have to end because I have to read other people's messages as well. Zach from Wa says, I appreciate the good work done by President John Mahama, and I wish Almighty Allah will give him another chance to continue. GM Twasu, you say. This one says, Mama V, the EC is causing a lot of problems from the onset. It's like she doesn't know what she's doing, but if she knows what she's doing and is up to anything, okay, well, I see where you're going. Charles Odro from KNUST Tescott. And I think that can we move away from having a certain kind of mindsets about the Electoral Commission chair? Why don't we just monitor the process and raise the concerns? It should be issues based, not personality, not, point your fingers at one person per se. This one says, good morning, Mama V. Roland. I love you guys very much. We love you too. Thanks a lot. Let's all arise for change, you say, to change the movement. The greetings from Honorable Mohammed Salisu Bamba, Nana Beba, Bamba Twaso Shamsuddin in Ejira, saying so on WhatsApp. Thanks a lot. This one says, good morning, lovely people. You're really doing a good job. Thumbs up for you all. Rita in Mangoase sending us that message. We thank you very much. Thanks for waking up and watching our show as well. Razak in Tamale, Akoto Razak in Tamale says, Ghanaians put trust on President Mahama, should put their trust in President Mahama and retain NDC for more development to come in our doorstep, you say. This one says, oh, Mama, you're looking, what is the secret? Is it Roland or who from Gabriel in Abeka? What do you think, Gabriel? This one says, what has happened to the supposed EC sacks that David Asante said they were confiscated from NDC executives by them? Richard, you go on to ask a lot more questions. Thanks a lot for the message. This one says, Ghanaians, let's learn to love one another, for if love exists from us, peace will never manifest. Let's come together and promote peace at all times. Love defines our, oh, please don't WhatsApp call us. Love defines over inner self. Let's kindly maintain the peace we're enjoying now and forever. That's from Abdul Salam Tijani. He says, first class from Boko. Good morning, you. Good morning to you, Ahmed Tijani as well. This one says, may God guide Ghanaian citizens from ugly circumstances during and after the elections. Ghanaians, vote wisely and with your conscience, for this spells out your future. Malik from Sierra Leone sending us this message from his base in Sierra Leone. More messages on WhatsApp. This one says, good morning. Let's keep praying for Ghana to have peaceful election. This is not the first time. Ghana, my beloved country, you can do it. Peace all the way before, during, and after the elections. That's from Yakubu Abdallah in Thailand, wishing us peaceful elections. Thank you, Yakubu, from thinking about us, even from where you're based. This one says, good morning once again, Mr. Roland Mamavi. My strong advice for Ghanaians is peaceful election, and inshallah, Ghana, good Lord will guide us through. From Bawa Adam in Tamale. Lots of peaceful messages coming through our WhatsApp page on 0560 800,000. This one says, U.S. authorities conducting border security operation were tipped off. Okay, I'm not sure if I know where this is going. I'll come back and take my time and read your message. This one says, my voter ID number was taken as NHIS number and deleted my name. EC promised to rectify, but no action yet. Wow. This one says, I want to know which... This one says, vote for a better future for the youth of this country. Vote for change. Kinsley says so. And here's one more. We've got to take a break. We've got sports coming up. This one says, good morning, Mamavi. The EC have to sit down because I'm seeing their presiding officers wearing party T-shirts and campaigning seriously. Really? Send us a picture. Linksman in Boko, please send us a picture of what you're talking about. This one says, oh, I said the last one. Okay. This one says, just wanted to say Nana has already won the elections. We hear you. Kindly include your name when you send us your messages. This one says, God is watching. Ben and his bias polls, you say God is watching from Man. All right, Man, thanks for sending us this message. And the messages are just still pouring in. We thank you for watching our show every morning and contributing. David from Akuse says, please, I'm for JM. Good morning, Mama V and Roland. Ghana will win on 7th. All right, we hear you. Ghana is certainly going to win. This one says, you look great. Well, thank you. I want to say a big thank you to JM and to wish him success on December 7th, inshallah, from Christian in Akim of Fwase. Is it Akim of Fwase, Roland, or Achim of Fwase?
In the English,
you say Akim.
They say Akim, but it's
okay.
really Achim.
Yeah, when I say Akim, it feels like there's something not right in my mouth.
Yeah, the way it says.
Sadat from Cherepone says MPP all the way.
Akim.
And this is the last time that you send me a message and say, you know, like MPP all the way or JM to us or something that I'll read. From tomorrow, I won't open my mouth to say it. It has to be, you know, like non-aligned or anything. That's the only way I'll read your messages tomorrow. So we'll do it for the last today. Keep sending those messages. We'll make time and share a lot more with everybody else.
Okay, so now Benedict also is around the corner. Ready
Akwesi
to-
Dankwa.
Yes. I don't know whether he'll be bringing to us games from
Are you
Saturday.
voting? I have a question
I'm
today.
voting on Wednesday.
I have a question today.
My vote.
Are you
It's
voting?
It's at the information.
Are you voting?
It's at
Are
the
you
Information
voting?
Service Department compound at Kanda.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why I vote.
Okay.
And so when I'm off air, and then I'll go there.
Okay.
Sharp.
I'm on the Legon campus.
I'm going to vote.
So, yeah. Which number are you voting for? That's not what I'm asking you.
My vote is
The
my
question
secret.
I'm asking is, are you voting?
But I think that
Are
people
you
around here know who I'll
voting?
be voting for anyway. So.
Are you voting? Are you voting?
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Send me a
so
response
please
to
make
that.
sure you go and vote. It's a responsibility that
Yeah.
you need to make
And
sure.
you know, you feel some kind of pride when you're done voting. You know, like it's like you took part in the process. Don't
Yeah.
just be talking about it.
Me-
Take part
my
in the
thing
process.
is, I want to take part in the process. That whoever I voted for
Yeah.
wins,
Okay.
and then I can also take pride and say, "Charlie, Mr. McCown."
If the person doesn't win, you still took part in the process. Stay with us. Akwesi Dankwa is on standby, and then he's voting. Is he voting? Is he voting?
I think he's voting.
Is he voting?
We'll take
Are
it
you
away.
voting?
We'll be right back.